Hello, I'm not Maddie, but I am My'Kayle, and I'm here to start off this episode with a quick note for our listeners. So we are going to be discussing topics like sexual assault and rape culture and things of that nature. So I'll put a timestamp down below for when that portion of the episode starts and when it ends, so that way for anyone who isn't comfortable listening to that kind of subject matter is able to still enjoy the episode, but you're able to skip that part. So, that's all. Anyways, enjoy the episode.
Hi, I'm Maddie.
And I'm My'Kayle, and welcome to Gaio Girls,
The K-pop podcast for all your K-pop needs. Let's get into it.
Alrighty, everybody. So, today we are doing Hoomst.
Mamamoo! It's a mama cow.
Yeah, we're doing Mamamoo today. It won't be your typical band review, kinda in the same vein as our Blackpink episode, but we're gonna try and structure this as well as we can before we get to that discussion portion of it. We kind of didn't do that with Blackpink because we kind of just we're like, nah, let's just do it.
Basically, it's going to be the same.
Oh, yeah.
Except, the same as our normal thing, except we're not going to be doing first impressions. We are not going to be casting them, and we're not going to have a game.
Yeah, we're not going to have that.
So we'll go through their profiles, and then straight to discourse.
Yeah.
It's basically what it is.
We're going to have Maddie go ahead and give me a summary of Mamamoo.
I love Mamamoo.
And I don't know Mamamoo, so great.
Yeah, I've been into Mamamoo just a little bit. I've been into Mamamoo for, I'd say confidently at least 4 years now. I've been into them and listening to their music and all of that jazz. I have not been super standing into them because I haven't started actually doing that in K-pop before a year ago. So I wasn't knee deep in everything that they were doing, but I know generally about them and stuff. So starting off with the leader, her name's Solar.
That's a nice name.
She's the main vocalist, and the visual. She is the oldest.
91.
She's the mom of the group.
She's a Pisces.
Love
Unfortunate. Although Pisces women
are so much better than
yes.
Pisces men.
Yes.
So much better, for the most part. Some of them. She loves hip-hop.
Mm-hmm.
She's scared of anything.
Mood.
And she is, one of the things with this fandom, this little fan group of Mamamoo, everybody is in consensus that this is the gayest group. This is the gayest group
really?
Ever. Yes.
Wowza.
100%. So they ship her with Moonbyul, and their ship name is Moonsun.
That's cute.
Yeah, it is really cute. And the reason why they say that they're the gayest is because they very much act like it. We don't know if they actually are or not, because they go all out in stages. They'll just get all up on each other. They'll do anything.
We love people that are confident in their sexuality.
Oh yeah, we do. So even if they aren't gay, I love them. We have Moonbyul. She is the main rapper. She's my bias. She's the main dancer, a vocalist, and also a visual. She's a part of Moonsun. She's a tomboy, and she's described by Solar as greasy and pervy because she always does those lines oh, why are you so pretty? And Solar's please stop. It's literally me and you. It's literally me and you because she's just hey, how are you doing? And I'm not gonna touch you. And she was hey, how are you doing? And she's where are you touching? Get away. So we love that. We have Wien. She's a lead vocalist and lead dancer. She's known Hwasa since middle school.
Aww.
her and Hwasa have a ship too, but I couldn't find their ship name.
We stand in Aries.
There we go. She loves Bruno Mars. She's noisy. She's a dancing queen, and she's an Aegyo master. She is the Aegyo master. And then we have Hwasa. She's the lead vocalist, lead rapper in Maknae. She loves Rihanna. And she looks scary, but she is a cinnamon roll. So altogether, they have one studio album. They've been, which is surprising to me because they've been a group. They debuted in 2012. So it's very interesting to me that they only have one studio album. They have 8 EPs and 15 singles. So, I don't know. I just found that very interesting.
That is interesting. Especially for them being a group for as long as they are.
Oh, yeah.
And you think Blackpink had it bad, but at least they have more than 9 songs.
Yeah, jeez. Oh, jeez. So that's all I've got before the controversies happen.
Okay.
So do you want me to just jump right on in?
Yes. Go ahead.
All right. So I'll talk about this first one first because these other two go on with the same topic.
We stand.
But so they had a music video that I showed you.
Yes.
I had you react to it.
Yes, you did.
That I can't pronounce still. Declamani or something?
Maybe.
Decalcomani, I think. Something along those lines. I have it right here, and I'm just pronouncing it how I see it. I'm a stupid American.
We're silly Americans.
So I'm so sorry. But, so the music video, basically, if you guys don't know, there was a part that was cut out of that was edited out of the music video after it debuted, and basically the whole music video, all the girls are, quote unquote, like crushing on this guy.
It
like,
doesn't look
like it, but basically, like how it goes is like they're crushing on this guy, and in the end, like they end up, like kissing, and it's like a magical moment, and everything explodes, and their blindfolds come off, and it's beautiful. The part that gets cut out is Solar's part to that whenever it's her turn to get kissed. And she's in the elevator with this boy. And she ends up going to leave the elevator, and he drags her back in, shoves her against the wall. She's trying to get away, and then he ends up kissing her, and she ends up going for it. Now, the discourse with this is that people have been saying that it is romanticizing rape culture because she ends up going with it in the end, and she was very much not okay with it, and there was no consent given. She did not say yes. She did not give any sort of sign that it was a yes before he kissed her. So, and with her going with it in the end, it romanticizes rape culture. The origin behind that scene is it was Solar's idea to do that scene. And in her mind, what she thought she was portraying was one of those classic, like, romantic comedy moments where she's like, oh no, don't come after me. I don't like you. And he's like, oh, are you so sure about that? And then, like, there's a little bit of struggle, but it's not a real struggle. And then they end up kissing. That's what she thought she was doing. And that was not the case.
Yeah.
And I know you had some thoughts about that.
Yeah. Which is basically this. It's kind of the same thoughts I had in the video, but, whether or not it's romanticizing rape culture or not, still, right now, even though it's been hours since we did that, I don't feel comfortable making that call, personally.
Yes.
For other people who do think that it's romanticizing rape culture, I totally see why that's valid. But for me, I don't feel comfortable making that call. As someone who's never experienced that and stuff like that, I feel like I don't have the agency to say whether or not it is or not.
Yeah, same.
Do I think that it's wrong, and do I think that's harmful, like a stereotype? Yeah. Because honestly, it didn't look like any of the girls were into it, other than Moonbyul. She was the only one that looked like she was into it because she legitimately, like, pulled him by his tie to kiss him. Like, she was the one to initiate something, and they both seemed into it. Hwasa was like, he like tripped her something like that, and she like fell, but he, like, even when he like stopped the car, she looked kind of like, what are you doing? She looked like startled. who Wien?
Yeah, we.
She like put her finger up to his mouth. It was when he was about to kiss her. I was like, no, let's not do this.
Took it away.
Yeah, he legitimately like moved her finger and then he kissed her. Anyways, so it's like, I don't know who the director of this music video was. I know it wasn't one of the girls, but like I don't know who they were. But like I feel like it's not Solar's fault because I feel like she had the idea in her mind and it just wasn't executed the way that she probably thought that it would be executed, and I feel like that's the fault of the director, because it's the director's job to direct. Wow. And if something doesn't look right, or if something seems as if it's not going to end up on screen the way that it was thought of in your head, it is your job as the director to make those necessary changes when something that you thought would be a good idea isn't necessarily working. Yes. I don't think it came out of ill intention. And I don't think they have some sinister motive behind, or Solar like has some sinister intention behind her doing it. I genuinely believe, like you said, she was just like, I wanted it to be like the whole, oh, we shouldn't, but oh, I want to kind of thing, and it just didn't end up correctly. Which a lot of things that have to do with like romanticizing rape culture, it usually ends up that way, of like the whole, oh, he shouldn't do this, but he's so cute and he's gonna make me like stuff like that. There's a lot of that everywhere. Have you watched romance anime? Yeah, but that's kind of my take on it. I see why people say that romanticizes rape culture, and I would be likely to agree. I just don't feel like I have the ability to make that call.
The jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so these next two are the ones that this is going to fill the whole episode. This is going to go into things beyond, just a little warning, this is going to go beyond Mamamoo, because these are topics that are, this is a topic that expands to the whole realm of K-pop.
Put a trigger warning somewhere? Especially since we just talked about, like, sexual assault.
Yeah, we should.
Okay, yeah.
We'll put a trigger warning at the beginning. You'll already hear it.
Yeah.
You'll hear the trigger warning. So, yeah. You'll hear the trigger warning. But, okay, so this one's the one that I know about the least.
Okay.
No, I probably should have gone with the other controversy first. There's a controversy. Let me do this one first before we go into this one, because this one's like a little tidbit and I forgot to write it down.
Okay.
At the Mama Awards.
Oh, yeah.
Hwasa's outfit.
Okay. This is also boy and girl group thing.
This is a boy
Can I
and
just,
girl group.
okay. I have problems with Mamamoo, which I'm pretty sure is what we're getting into next, but
for those of you who don't know what happened, Mamamoo performed at the Mama Awards 2018, and Hwasa was wearing an outfit where it was like long sleeves, and then it was kind of like a bikini bathing suit, leotard type.
Think about what Beyonce wears on stage a lot of the times.
Basically,
it was Beyonce,
and she wears those kinds of things a lot. But they were in a different country; they were in Japan, and she got a lot of backlash for wearing that. Because they didn't think it was appropriate. People did not think it was appropriate, and that she should not be wearing that.
Now, I may be wrong. I don't think I am, but I may be wrong. So, that same night, Wonho and all of Monsta X went on stage, and he ripped his shirt, and Wonho's jacked. And they did the whole stomping thing, and here's the thing. In the very beginning of Shootout, they do this stomping thing, and it's really cool, like, its effect. Like, they stomp, and then they make their whole body, like, vibrate.
Yeah, it's really
from,
cool.
like, the force of it. His shirt was off. His pecs are huge. Things were moving and things were jiggling. Like, like, things were bouncing.
Oh, it was heavenly. But
and they all were, like, all their chests and their abs were basically out.
Also, I don't know if that was the same group. I can't remember who it was, but there was one guy who just who took off his shirt. That was Monsta X.
He ripped his shirt.
He took off his shirt in general. He just, like, because there was one button on it. There was one button on it, and it didn't, like, so he was just like, sure. So his whole entire, torso.
What you're telling me is Monsta X can get on stage and do all of that. But Hwasa can't wear a leotard. Yeah, like
something that dancers wear. Like It's just something that dancers
surprise,
wear.
you need to move when you dance. You
Wow.
can't wear. I don't understand how boys dance in suits.
Yeah.
That's restrictive. But like that's such a double standard, and I hate that. And also, she looked very good. The only thing I have to critique her on was like her dancing, because it was the heels. And it looked like she was a little stiff. But like other than that, her performance was good. I didn't even think twice about what she was wearing. Of course, because I'm a Westerner, I didn't think twice about what she was wearing. And even still, if I wasn't a Westerner,
I understand, but at the same time, I don't, because they didn't hold the guys up to the same standard.
Exactly.
That's the
didn't.
thing that got me, was that they didn't hold the guys up to the standard.
And so, Hassa, you're doing well, sweetie. You're doing great, right. Sweetie.
Well, great, because this is another Hassa one. Now, here's where we get into the actual meat of the thing, kind of. So, Hassa did a cover of a Beyonce song.
We stand. Because she loves Beyonce.
She also really loves Rihanna, but she loves Beyonce. And she did a cover of a Beyonce song, and she said the N-word. Mm-hmm. Because it was a part of the song, so she just did it. And people got really mad that she said the N-word. She hasn't apologized. But she's been getting backlash of being called racist because she's didn't bleep out the N-word. She just sang it and said it.
Yeah. So
I feel like I can't say much on this topic. I don't have jurisdiction. This is a you thing.
Do you know about the Bruno Mars thing that they did?
That's the thing I'm going to get into.
Okay.
We'll do that in a minute.
So I heard about a lot of the things that Maddie's bringing up are things that I've heard about. Some of them I went into research with, some of them I didn't, because it's just like, another idol, another racist thing. Who would have thought?
I could say the Bruno Mars thing now, so we can get.
Because it's all in the same vein.
Okay, so they also, at one point, I can't remember what award show this was, I can't remember what show it was, but the 4 girls, Mamamoo, they went to do a Bruno Mars song, and so they decided that they were going to dress up as Bruno Mars and his crew, and they did blackface. Whenever they dressed up as him, they made their skin darker, and they did blackface, and they got a lot of backlash for it. They, obviously, they got a lot of backlash for it, and they ended up apologizing. They haven't done it since, but they have done that.
Yeah.
Now you can go.
So, when it comes to Irreplaceable, there's been a lot of, like, back and forth when it comes to her using the N-word. Mm-hmm. Because if you ever listen to Irreplaceable, the N-word is censored in every version. There is only one, like, a studio a cappella version.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
No one even knows about, where Beyonce actually says the word. So it's like, Hwasa must be a really big Beyonce fan if she found that. Yeah. But it's still. Like, and when did that happen? Do we know the year that happened?
I can look at it while you're talking.
Okay. So here's my thing when it comes to K-pop idols and stuff like that, because Mamamoo aren't the only people who've done it. Have you ever listened to K-hip hop? Cause I do, and I know. So the very first thing that I'd ever heard about when it comes to K-pop idols doing racist things was G-Dragon, and there's a clip of G-Dragon on some music show.
2016.
Okay, and he is talking to some person. I don't know if it's another person in another group, or I don't know if it's an MC, but he's like talking to them, and he says, yeah, N-word. So smooth. Like he's been saying it for years now. Like it's just naturally just comes out of his mouth. Like he just said it without hesitation and just did it, and no one looked like he did anything wrong. All the MCs went along with it, everything else. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, oh, so y'all just be saying this, huh? y'all just be out here just saying it. Okay. And even on TV. So, like, a lot of variety shows. Like, this isn't even just an idol thing. This is just an entertainment industry thing in Korea. Like, a lot of variety shows, like, hosts will do blackface and paint their faces to portray black characters. There's even this one famous black character in Korean in like media. I can't remember their name, but it was like they'll reference them a lot whenever they're talking about an idol who is dark, like dark skin. Mm-hmm. And they'll say it in like a mocking kind of way. because of course. Even to the point where they only banned blackface back in like 2017, 2018. Mm-hmm. So they have been doing it for years now and saw no real problem with doing it for years now. Another thing is that if we really want to bring up all idols who have ever done anything problematic along that lines, then you have to pull out Zico, you have to pull out G-Dragon, you'd have to pull out like Mamamoo, you'd have to pull out Wendy from Red Velvet because she was on like a show and they were like asking her about her time in Canada because she can speak English, and they're like asking her to imitate people, and so she imitated a white girl and she was like, so like things are great or whatever, and then they were asked her to imitate a black girl and she was like, I don't know who you're talking to, like she's I don't like her and stuff like that, like trying to pretend to be ghetto or something like that, because of course that's all black people are, and people gave her flack for that and she never apologized. Like, you have G-Dragon saying the N-word on live television like he's been saying it for years now. You have Namjoon saying the N-word on live television to a song that they were covering by an older idol who had that in his song before. So it was just like a cycle of ignorance just perpetuating itself on stage.
Yikes.
You had Namjoon saying he can speak urban English before, and he was like trying to imitate how black people speak as like a talent. You had, I can drag Namjoon for days. Oh, those dreads he had. Oh, the cornrows. Oh my god, his hair was atrocious.
Zico's dreads.
Zico's dreads, Kai's dreads that he had in Coco
everyone's dreads.
Everyone's dreads. Jackson's dreads from GOT7. Yeah, that's right, all of your Opas are getting called out today. Like,
Jackson's dreads, he's had those dreads for years. It wasn't just Coco Bop. It was back in Wolf. It was back.
Yeah, and then when people were telling Jackson on Instagram, like, yo, you shouldn't do that, he was just like, why? And people explained, he was like, ha ha ha, okay.
Because I understand people not getting it. Like, I understand them not getting it.
Oh, yeah.
But once they get it, once they're told.
You got Chen from EXO.
My baby boy.
Yeah, they, like, put, like, chocolate or something all over his lips, and he was like, I look like Kunta Kinte now. And it's like, people were like, well, Roots is like because apparently Roots was a very big television show because Koreans related to the character of Kunta Kinte because of everything that happened in Japanese imperialism. That's a whole big other thing in general, but like, still. So there's just a bunch of idols that I haven't even touched on, nor do I have the brain capacity to remember all the messed up things idols have done, and just the racist vein. We haven't even touched on sexism or homophobia.
But we will!
Heck, if you really want to bring it up, like, they have their own internalized self-hatred of, like, colorism stuff, too, which isn't because... Oh, my God. Here's a little side note about colorism when it comes to Korea. So, colorism in general, right, is prevalent in a lot of minority societies and a lot of minority races. Black people have it, Asian people have it, not just East Asians, also South Asians, especially Asians that are living in India, they have colorism problems too. Colorism is the whole idea of hating one's skin, mostly because it is darker. So a lot of people, from my experience, since I am black, I'm going to talk about the black community for a little bit, because that's what I have jurisdiction to talk about. If there's this whole light skin versus dark skin thing where lots of like black men will be like, light skins are better, we'll get you a light skin girl, they're easier to handle, dark skin girls are dirty, dark skin girls are roaches, dark skin girls are like argumentative, like dark skin girls aren't pretty, stuff like that. And it's perpetuated not only like in our own community, but like in media that we read and we watch and we listen to, by our own fathers sometimes, by the men in our families and our lives, by lovers and stuff like that, by ourselves, internalized stuff too, to the point where like women will go out and they'll buy bleaching creams to make their skin lighter, like stuff that can legitimately give you cancer and kill you, because they've been taught from such a young age that the color of their skin makes them unworthy as a human being. It makes them unworthy as a lover. It makes them unworthy as a worker. It makes them just unworthy in general. And in Korea, it's not... Our colorism was perpetuated, of course, because of slavery and racism and stuff like that in America. So European beauty standards for us, right? For the black community. Maybe probably even in India too. I don't want to speak too much on that because I haven't researched that a lot, but I do know that they were under, of course, everyone, if you took basic world geography, India was like under British colonial rule for a while, so that would also make sense for people living in India to have those messed up European beauty standards too, for them too. But for Koreans, it goes back before white people and stuff like that. For Koreans and a lot of East Asians in general, for them, it's the whole idea of people that worked out in the fields were darker because they worked in fields. They were under the sun all day, so they had less money. People that were paler were inside because they had money, so they didn't have to go out and work. So that's where that kind of colorism comes from. But it's still messed up. And that kind of colorism, internalized colorism, jumps out in like groups like EXO and BTS that I know of too, where it's like Namjoon was like, what did I think of like J-Hope and Taehyung when I first met them? Well, I couldn't see them because they were so dark. He said that during an interview.
Yikes.
And Namjoon has melanin too. That's one of the things. Like, his skin is really pretty when it's tan. But it's like that kind of internal, like to the point where he'd be like, on V-Lives still, like recently in 2018, he would be like, I have to put on lots of sunscreen because I'm getting too dark and stuff like that. I'm just like, okay. But then groups like in EXO, Kai gets the brunt of it a lot too.
Oh yeah.
Because they'll like cover him, like whenever I remember someone was trying to like replicate idols, like recreate them, like draw the members in the group, and Kai, they completely shaded him in with like a black Sharpie. It was like he's the dark skinned one, he's the black one, and stuff like that. And well, that's not connected to, like, racism and European beauty standards. What it is connected to with colorism still is that black people are... It's weird in Korea, because I was doing a lot of research on it when I was first getting into K-pop, because, let me put this out here, first and foremost, we might do a mini episode on this now that I'm on this topic, but, I am a black person, a black woman specifically, before I'm a K-pop fan. And I feel like a lot of, like, black K-pop fans specifically, we have a hard time dealing with that, because there's a lot of things that we can be angry about. There's a whole lot of things that we can be angry about whenever we're, like, listening or watching anything that has to do with K-pop. And it's like, if Namjoon never came out and apologized for what he did and continuously apologizes to try and make up for the things that he has done wrong and, like, educate people, I don't know if I would be able to listen to him. I probably wouldn't. Honestly. All the things that he's done, all the things I just listed that he's done, there's no way I could like him. Because that goes against my own moral belief and my own ethics of who I am as a person. As a person, I am a black woman before I am a K-pop fan. I don't like labels, but those two labels are labels that I stand by because they are important to me, because they make up my daily experience, because I can't shed those labels until society around me decides to also shed those labels. So until then, that is my cultural experience, being a black woman in America, right? So I just want to throw that out there. I am a black girl before I'm a K-pop fan. The weird thing is that in Korea, a lot of, like, people that I watch on YouTube, which are, like, black girls that live in Korea or, like, visit Korea, because I want to visit Korea, and I want to know I want to know what it's like as, like, a black girl visiting a foreign country, because that's something I have to look up. Like, before I went to, like, Germany, I looked up what's it like being black in Germany, because I never noticed the stares that we got all the time, but I knew we got them. I knew people looked at us weird. In France, they didn't, but France just has a very high population of just a diverse group of people. Germany, not so much. Luxembourg, but Germany, hella white. So
wow, never would have guessed white. That one.
So, like, I never noticed stares that we would get, but I noticed my mom noticing, and I noticed my dad noticing, and it's like, I'm just oblivious in general. So I can deal with it, but I remember there was this one thing that I'll never forget because it freaked me out. I was talking to my dad, and playfully we were, like, switching languages back and forth, right? Because my dad he was like speaking in German, and then I spoke to him in French, and I tried Korean, and then he like did some other language. I can't forget. We know too many.
Wow.
We don't know a lot. We know
Casual brag.
We know the basics. At least I know the basics. My dad actually knows languages. But this one woman that was walking in front of us, I guess, heard us, and she looked back, and it looked like she was going to compliment us. But then she saw us, and her face turned like stone cold. And she looked at us, like me specifically, with like the most piercing stare of like, why are you here? And I was just like, what did I do? I was just like, what did I do? And she just would not stop staring at us. To the point where it didn't stop until like we just went down a different corner. And she just kept going straight. And I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? What did we do? I was like, is it because we were speaking languages? Like, what was it? And I was just like asking my dad, and he was just like, oh, that's the usual. That's a daily occurrence for him in Germany sometimes. Of just being stared at and looked at weirdly. Why? Because he's black in Germany. They're usually hella white country. And so it's weird in Korea, because in Korea, a lot of the people that I would like watch were saying, I haven't had any bad experiences specifically, but they were like, it's a weird dichotomy, because they will say, like, oh, you're so pretty, like, we like your hair, but they'll do things like they'll just come out of nowhere and they'll just touch your hair.
Oh.
So as someone who already doesn't like being touched, I've had that happen to me from teachers in high school, where one of my honors chem teacher just straight up plopped her hand in my head. She was like, your hair looks so nice like this, and she was just moving it around. I was just like, please stop touching me. I didn't consent to this.
You didn't ask.
Yeah, it's like I have friends like you guys. Like, you guys usually always compliment my hair, or like before you guys just go ahead and touch my hair, like you'll ask, like you'll be like, hey, can I touch it? And I have other friends that I would like, hey, can I touch your hair, and stuff like that. And that's nice. I like educating people about like my hair and stuff like that. But like, if you just run your whole hand through it,
hey,
and I'm just like, I don't even know your middle name. I don't know who you are. I don't even know your last. I barely know your first. Who are you? Stop touching me, right? They'll be like, you're so cool, we like your hair, or whatever. And they'd be like, oh, you can dance? You must be able to sing. And like, all Korean people like have this idea of black people being like super cool and athletic, and all the good stereotypes, air quotes, good. But it's like, that's still ignorance. And then they'll be like, black people are super cool. But then they'll also turn around and like take pictures of you without your permission. Like, a common theme of all these people, like all the black girls I've seen on YouTube, are like, people will just take pictures of you. I know there's this very famous African dude in Korea who lives there, and he speaks fluent Korean. He's lived there for a while now. And he like goes around and he gives talks about what it's like to be black in Korea. And he's talked about like how people have gotten up and like sat somewhere else where he'll like sit down next to him in metro trains and stuff like that. He's talked about how he's faced discrimination and stuff like that. He's talked about how he couldn't get into certain clubs and stuff like that. There are apparently literal signs in Korea that say in both Korean and English, no blacks allowed. And it's legal for them to do that. But it's like, it's so weird how Koreans are like, y'all are so cool, especially the younger generation. Y'all are so cool, blah, 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 blah. But also, don't do this, don't go here, blah, blah, blah. We're going to take pictures of you and touch your hair without permission. And I know it's an ignorance thing, because Korea is a very homogenous society. But like, y'all have the fastest internet in the world. And also, I call bullshit on them not knowing why the N-word is bad, because they legitimately have the Korean version of the N-word. Like, and people will tell you the Korean version of the N-word, which I have learned. So if any of y'all want to try me in Korea, y'all can do it, But I'm not dumb. Like, I learned the basics of things before I go anywhere. I learned the basics of what, like, the German N-word is. I learned these things. Because that's my life as a black person, is I go out of my way to learn these things. So I can know whether or not someone is actually trying to be genuinely nice to me or if someone's insulting me to my face because they don't think I can understand them. Yeah. So here's my thing with K-pop idols doing things that are wrong and messed up and racist and ignorant and prejudiced and stuff like that. Is this. K-pop idols make mistakes because they're humans. Korea is a homogenous society. So there is a very likely chance that all the things that they have seen when it comes to black people is how we're perpetuated in the media. Which isn't great, depending on what media you're consuming. It's getting better now, slightly. For certain types of black people, still. Lighter skinned women, oh yeah, it's getting better for y'all. The Zendayas of the world, sure. But like the Lupita Nyong'os of the world and the Gabrielle Unions and the rest of us, it's still hard. Like, I can't remember a time I've ever seen a dark-skinned black girl considered to be the love interest to anyone other than a dark-skinned black dude. Have you ever seen a dark-skinned black girl in like any romance, anything? A teenage romance movie with like a dark-skinned black girl.
Unless she's like
that
friend.
Yeah,
that one friend or something.
Not the lead, but she's always like the sassy friend in the background. Yeah. And not a mixed girl either. Not an Amandla, but like just a dark-skinned black girl. Yeah, you don't see it. Wonder why. Almost as if we're still being perpetuated as if we can't be love interests. Cause why? Unworthy, cause we're dark-skinned. But it's getting better, but like you still have this stereotype of black people in media. And Black Panther was great apparently for Koreans because they filmed in Busan. And so Koreans were super excited to see their country in a Marvel movie, especially like Black Panther, which was like one of the highly anticipated Marvel movies of that year. And they were like, I saw this one YouTube video where they were discussing like Asian Boss, great YouTube channel, go check that out. But they were going around the street asking people how they felt about Black Panther, and they interviewed a bunch of like younger Koreans. I think they were in like their late teens and then mid to late 20s. And they were interviewing them about what they thought of the movie, and they were like, it's great. And they even said it themselves, like, it was great representation for black people. Because they even said, like, the things that you normally see kind of perpetuates black people in, like, a not the best light. But, like, this was, like, it's a superhero. And, like, this one woman who, like, teaches Korean, like, not Korean, but she teaches English in a Korean class. She said that her third graders were going out to her and they were like, Wakanda forever, right, teach? And she was like, yeah, kiddo. And so, like, that's great. But also, I need people to realize that we're not just fictionalized characters and that you can have basic human decency and respect for us outside of media. But, other tangent. K-pop idols, if they apologize, if you apologize and you actively try to be better, that's all I'm asking for, is for people to learn from their mistakes and then to try to not repeat those mistakes. That's all I want. I don't believe in cancel culture. I used to when I was like 16, 17 and angry at the world. But even I have said things that I would never say today. And thank God I didn't have the internet at that time or anything for me to upload things on. I will always thank my parents for that, for not giving me social media at like 12, because I would be screwed. But like, I have said things that today, after like learning from people and friends and just doing my own research, that I now know aren't good to say and aren't cool to say because they offend people. And whether or not I'm like, I don't believe in it, I still won't say it because it offends people. So all I'm asking for when it comes to K-pop idols, no matter what you do, if it's racist, if it's homophobic, if it's sexist, if it's anything, Doesn't even have to be racist against black people. I think BTS had done some dumb thing when they were, like, doing some kind of Native American war call or something like that. Yeah, and a bunch of other things. I know some other people have, like, imitated Indians and stuff like that, in, like, a completely ignorant kind of way, which is even worse, because, you know, Indians are still Asians. They still exist in the continent of Asia, and even they get backlash for being darker than East Asians. But all I want is for idols to realize their mistakes. If you can realize your mistake, and if you can try your best to apologize, and then not only apologize, because, like, I can hear sorry every week. There is this one line that I heard from a show, and it was like, people say sorry, but they repeat the same mistakes. It's almost as if they're saying sorry for the next mistake that they're gonna make, instead of the one that they just made. I don't care about your sorry. I care about you trying to do better. So, like, Namjoon could have said sorry every time he did something, but if he just kept doing it and never learned from it, what is that? That's nothing to me. That's nothing to me. But Namjoon went out of his way. He was like, what I did was wrong. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. What I did was wrong. And I understand why that's wrong, and I understand why I upset people, and I understand why people are hurt, and that's valid, and I accept the fact that I was wrong. And to this day, for better or worse, I still think this is so dumb, because Americans are just dumb, but, like, when they performed Fake Love on stage, and they censored the words that sounded like the N-words, even though it's just I in Korean, he went on record in an interview saying, we did that because we did not want to offend any of our international fans, because he was like basically telling people, like, in Korea, that word, the N-word, is not something for us to be using. It's not our word to use. Like, it's an offensive word. If you use it, that's on you, but, like, that you need to know that it's not a term of endearment coming from us. If you were to say that to, like, another black person, it would be offensive to them. And the article in which they were taking that quote from said the N-word with the hard R 3 times. Spelled it all the way out.
Oh, Jesus.
So it was like, so you're just not gonna learn your lesson. Just not gonna learn your lesson, huh? So, here's what I'm asking for. All idols make mistakes. Who would have thought?
It's almost as if they're human, you know?
All idols make mistakes. If you apologize for your mistake, if you try your best to make sure that you have some kind of self-growth from that mistake, then, in my eyes, whether or not I enjoy your music or not, you're forgiven. To me. Not everyone has to forgive you, though. Not everyone has to forgive you. Just because you say sorry and you try to be better, some people may never forgive you. And that's the consequences of your actions. And that's something I just had to learn as I got older. Is that no matter how many times you say sorry, sometimes people just won't forgive you. And you know what? They kind of have that agency. They kind of have the agency to not forgive you. Does that mean that they have the agency to attack you every time for it? No. It does not mean that we have the agency to say, go kill yourself, go choke, or whatever, because they said something like that, or they did something like that. Do you still reserve the right to be angry and never forgive that for them, and to never want to support them because of what they've done? Heck yeah. You reserve that right. I know people that don't stand BTS and don't like BTS because of the stuff that Namjoon has done, and because of the stuff that the other members have done. And you know what? Valid. But, like, you also have to recognize that within the other people you stan. You can't hold these double standards, my dude. So, like, who Hwasa apologized for the N-word thingy, majig?
She did not.
She didn't?
No.
Did they ever apologize for the blackface thing?
Immensely.
Okay. Alright. I don't forgive Hwasa for saying the N-word. And I don't gotta. Do I think she probably is a very sweet girl? Yeah. Do I also love the story about her and how Beyonce was her role model? Yes. That's a sweet story. But I don't have to forgive her for saying the N-word, especially if she hasn't apologized. I don't have to give her that. At all. I don't like G-Dragon. I just think his voice is annoying. But like, I don't know if he's ever apologized for saying the N-word. I know he worked with Missy Elliott, but like, that doesn't tell me if he apologized or not. That just tells me he works with Missy Elliott. But like, if he apologized for it and he doesn't say it anymore, cool. Alrighty. I'll take that. I still won't listen to his music, but that's just a personal choice. But I'm not going to attack him over it. Jackson, fuck Jackson. Like, yeah, he's hot, but like...
so are a lot of bitches.
Exactly. So are a lot of fuckboys. You know, that's the drill.
Oh,
But like, Chen, SM never apologizes for anything. Wendy, I don't forgive her for what she said. Sure, was it the most racist thing anyone has ever done? No, but I was still ignorant, and it still perpetuated stereotypes that to this day I still get from just being... I'm in college now, and I still get them. So yeah, that's awesome. So no, I don't forgive her for that. Especially for perpetuating that in a foreign country. No, I don't. I don't have to forgive any of these idols. But some of them I do. Namjoon, I do. Other ones who have apologized, I do. And that's just my personal choice. Because you want to know what else? All minorities are not a monolith. We don't all speak for each other. We don't all speak for all black people. Indians don't speak for all Indians. Like, we don't all speak for each other. So this is my personal opinion as a black girl. That's where I'm standing at right now. And I know other black girls will be like, nah, I can't mess with K-pop because of all that stuff. And I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, I get you on that. And the other black girls all stand problematic people because they think that they're hot. And to them, I just want to say, like, are you sure though? Like, because I've been in that position before. And I feel like that's just a bigger discussion at large that I can have about just society and race and internalized self-hatred in general. And that's not K-pop pod. I don't have enough time on this K-pop podcast to talk about it. But even still, that's their life. And they get to make that decision. But I feel like that's my stance on racism and ignorance and cultural appropriation and everything under that umbrella when it comes to K-pop and K-hip hop especially. Ooh, K-hip hop is another thing. Ooh, y'all really want to make hip hop music and y'all really want to stand here with dreads, but y'all really don't want to work with black artists. But you know, it's fine. It's chill. But yeah, that's kind of all. I feel like I've talked in circles really. Was that even, like...
Oh, no, yeah, that made a whole lot of sense.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you...
That I have to
want to talk about?
On
the vein? Because I have nothing, because I am a privileged white person. I literally cannot say anything about this. Nor do I really want to, because I have no opinion. Like, I have an opinion, but, like, it's a white person's opinion. It's not, like, somebody that has been through this kind of opinion, you know?
Yeah, I mean, definitely in my life, my experience as a black person in America is so skewed. Everyone's experience is different. Mm-hmm. Some things are the same. Every black girl has gone through the phase of white people touching their hair, especially white women. Why y'all gotta do that?
No, that's something I don't understand.
Oh god, I love that my hair confuses everyone. I love that people just really think that whenever I take off my wig with bangs and I wear my natural hair, they just really think that the bangs was my hair. I'm like, so where did they go? So
what do you think happened?
Have you never had bangs before? That's not how bangs operate.
Of course it is. You just
so my hair just got really short and I just cut off my hair at the top. Sure.
Yes, that is exactly what happened.
But I don't think I have anything else to talk about. I feel like my stance is very simplistic when it comes to it. I don't ask for a lot, and yet for some reason I still get the bare minimum.
As is our society.
But yeah, gosh, K-pop idols. Jeez Louise. All people, all entertainment, all artists in general. Honestly, unless you've done some really messed up things, like. I mean, if you said something out of pocket, and you apologize and you're trying to do better, I don't gotta like you, I don't gotta forgive you, but you'll at least have some part of my respect for doing it. But yeah, that's all. I'm pretty sure. That's all I have to say. So.
Well, all right. Well, yeah, I got nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, be nice, I guess. I don't know. I'm white. I don't think I can't. That just sounds stupid.
I hurt myself. Wouldn't be the first time, wouldn't be the last.
Oh, yikes.
But yeah, but if you have opinions, especially all my minorities in the audience, make some noise! Woo! But, if y'all have opinions, please put them down in the comments below. I love discourse. I love discussion.
And, if you have anything else to talk about on the topic, make those mini-sodes, man. I'm not needed. I'm not needed for this topic, or these kinds of topics, because, obvious reasons.
I enjoy you for moral support.
I'm here for moral support. It's interesting, because, you can talk about this. We can talk about the, sexism.
Yeah.
We can't really touch on the homophobia.
No, we can't.
So, that'll be interesting if we can have
into K-pop who's out and willing to be on the podcast, because I don't know.
Even if they're not really into K-pop, just having their opinion.
Yeah, true.
To be honest, we've got a lot.
We've
got a ton,
and we love them all.
We love every single one of them except for that one. I'm just kidding.
No, we still appreciate them. We still want them to do well.
No, yeah, I love them all.
Yeah, but I think that's about it from me, friend.
Okay.
So, hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Yeah. Surprisingly, one of our shorter ones.
It is
actually the shortest one we've done, other than a mini-sode.
Huh.
Which is very interesting. I thought this was going to be a longer one.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely things that I could have gone into, but I just feel like for the purpose of what we were discussing, it would just be dragging a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And it really wouldn't. It just wouldn't.
Cause those mini-sodes just... True. It's a whole mini-sode series.
If y'all thought of your, oppas and unnies were safe, nah. I still got so much tea. I could expose everyone. Everyone and their mamas could get it.
Is there anything about Mamamoo?
About
Mamamoo? Want to say anymore of, just in general Mamamoo?
I have no ill will towards Mamamoo. Do I enjoy their music? It's hit or miss for me. But I do understand why Maddie does enjoy their music, and I do not fault Maddie for still enjoying their music and enjoying Mamamoo, because to each their own in my book, to be honest. So yeah, I wouldn't attack Maddie and be like, "Oh my God, you're so problematic for listening to such a problematic group," because that's dumb. Well, oops. My opinion, but yeah, I feel like Mamamoo is a group that probably doesn't try to do very bad things. In fact, I don't think that they're trying to do bad things. I think they're just ignorant, and I think that ignorance just comes from the society and the culture that they live in. So yeah. But I do hope that they do well. I hope that they put out another album.
Yeah, please. I didn't even realize. I've been a Mamamoo fan for so long.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they only have one album.
That's weird. But yeah, hope they put out more music.
Yeah.
They're very pretty.
I think they're coming out with another EP, but they don't need another EP. They need an album. 8 EPs.
Yeah.
Only 15 singles since 2012.
Goodness me. Also, I like their stage performances.
Their stage performances are very nice.
Mm-hmm. They have very good stage presence. I enjoy that.
Oh, yeah. They do. They go for it.
Okay. So, we've reached the end.
At this point, we have reached the end. We were trying to drag it. Didn't work.
So, if you're still with us, we're going to plug some stuff.
The usual.
So, If you want more from Gaio Girls in particular, you can follow us on Twitter, which is at Gaio Girls, and you can also follow us on Tumblr, which is GaioGirls.tumblr.com. If you want to follow me, hi, I'm My'Kayle. You can go ahead and follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at deadpan_K. And you can also follow me on Tumblr, which is deadpan-k.tumblr.com. Maddie?
The only thing I'm active on, again, because I'm lazy and in school, is my personal Instagram, which sucks, called Maylin_21, MAYLYNN_21. You can also help us out if you want to and buy us a coffee. We are Gaio Girls on coffee.
Woo.
Don't gotta, but if you wanna, we here.
We all broke. It's cool. But yeah. Thank you for listening. And
Bye.